The views and opinions expressed on any program are those of the producers and/or the persons appearing on the program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of FRC Media, Bristol Community College, or the City of Fall River.
And I'm CJ.
And it's Friday.
Is it really?
The end of another banner week in Fall River.
Yeah, and the weather has not been cooperating. It's still too cold.
That was a little pun on one of our stories.
Yes, I know, but it's the weather has not been cooperating. It's still a little too cold.
Well,
hey, did you notice the Sakonnet River Bridge is now down at the bottom of Kennedy Park?
Yeah.
Imagine that a Fall River company gets to dismantle the Sakonnet River Bridge.
Yeah.
Might as well bring all the crap to Fall River, right? That's where we got to take it apart.
That's right. That's what we're good for. The junkyard. Yeah. Dump all the refuse here.
And we're even taking it from Rhode Island now. They say they're going to recycle that and make it refrigerators and cook barbecue grills and all
Rhode Island's getting really into that. Actually, I saw a story the other day. I don't know if you caught it. With Hasbro taking all their old toys and recycling them into other useful goods like, I don't know, PVC swing sets, and I don't know. But they were recycling all of, which is good. I mean, that's a big fan of not throwing stuff all over the place.
Yeah, you wouldn't know that by looking at Fall River, though. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, that's the problem. But remember, we're going to have the Make It Here banners will soon grace the streets of Fall River. That's going to bring everybody in as they drive over the Braga Bridge and don't look at the city. Yes, the millions of people who are going to go on Purchase Street and walk that 2 blocks before you get into a residential area or walk into the old Durfee Tech building. That's going to be, this is,
the old Durfee Tech building is going to be apartments.
I can see it now. It's done. Our troubles are over.
That's it.
Our troubles are over. We're going to have thousands of tourists and hundreds of people running in here to drink a coffee. Maybe they'll run into the mayor having us coffee in the morning. Absolutely. Banners will fix it.
Yeah.
We always got the great fixes. We're going to do what, and we don't learn. Fall River never learns.
And the mayor's jumping on this, saying it's not going to cost the city a dime because the businesses in Fall River are going to pay for the banners.
Yeah.
Because they'll be able to put their little, icons on the banners showing who paid for it.
Yeah.
So basically, they're going to get Bay Coast Bank to pay for them. You may get Bank 5 to pay for a few of them.
Yeah, what a surprise, Bay Coast.
Yeah, I know, real big surprise.
The guy that's always looking for political. You mean the guy whose spouse got the air conditioning system?
Yeah, exactly.
The $500,000, almost $500,000. See, we don't forget. We got memories like elephants here. We don't forget that stuff. So, I remember. We know how this game works.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Banner's not going to do anything. My chair just goes. Somebody sabotaged my chair.
I just noticed that.
Yep. I felt like one of in the Wizard of Oz.
We represent the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild.
Well, let's see how long it takes before it goes again. There may be something wrong with the locking mechanism, but I was sitting on a floor there for a second. But look, this is typical government. They spend more of your tax dollars on stuff that doesn't work because they have to spend money, and they've got this propaganda thing that, see, we're doing something. We're hanging banners. Well, guess what? Statistically, they show that the growth rate in Fall River for population is like 0.1%. We've lost, well, they say 5,000. I say 20,000 because they've been replaced by people who don't spend any money, except on maybe heroin or Ripple. So, hanging up a banner doesn't do anything. The most fundamental concept of business and marketing, what do you think they created malls for? All the little stores in those malls before the advent of, don't get off your duff and go shopping, you can now get it mailed to you. Malls were more convenient than walking around in a downtown area. So they went to a mall and everything was there. But all those stores in the malls were all there because you had anchor stores. You had big stores to attract people. And then when they'd go to Macy's and Sears or all the big name stores or Nordstrom's or wherever, depending on the mall, they'd wander out and start looking through the other stores, and the other stores were surviving. Yeah, just like Miami. Miami's got a tremendous tourist business. Didn't do anything good for the city. It was voted the worst city in the country to live in, not be a tourist in. It's the number one. It's one of the number one cities to be a tourist, not to be a resident. So it shows that tourism doesn't cure the problems. It just makes people, the people with the businesses maybe richer, but it doesn't really help the community if you don't address the problems in the community, which we'll get to later. But the reality is that this is baloney. It's absolute baloney. You got to bring people in. What's Fall River's anchor? Being at the top of the state in unemployment?
And star.
And being the hub of treating drug addicts?
And drive-by shootings.
Drive-by shootings, gang shootings, gangs, crime, drugs. Wait a minute. That's a good anchor. For who? For criminals, I guess. Because
I didn't think we had gangs.
Nobody, that's right, we didn't have gangs. So, this whole thing is just baloney. I don't care if we don't pay anything, it's not going to do any good. If you want to spend my money, spend it on police and fire and education, and let the businesses promote themselves. Yeah, they're paying for it, but it's not going to do them any good. They all chipped in so in case they need another air conditioning system, they can make the call and say, hey, look, we contributed, because that's the way the game is played. But this is just more. Basically, all it is hyperbole and rhetoric. It's just a bunch of baloney. That's all it is. This is going to cure it. Listen, if a banner could cure a city like Fall River's problems, maybe we can sell it to Flint, Michigan. They've tried more than banners. They tried giving houses away in Detroit for $1.
And that didn't work.
So, look, again, more politics 101. And if you believe this one, I'll tell you what. Give me a call. I'll sell you a bridge.
The Sakonnet River Bridge.
Yeah, the Sakonnet River
Bridge. You have to admit, you can't write this stuff. You really
can't. You can't. Because it's never ending. It's all, and that's the thing that gets me. Voters, people in Fall River. How many years do they have? It's like, remember the other show, the gullibility meter?
Yeah.
How many times is the mayor going to promise to get rid of the purple bags before you realize that he didn't get rid of the purple bags with his first 3 promises to get rid of the purple bags? We're gonna have the big test in the gullibility meter to see if they don't eliminate it in next year's budget. But they're going to try, because they're already trying to raid the pension system. And that's not going to work, because they've been on a radio again talking about they can extend it over to 40. But see, they always tell a half-truth. What they didn't tell the council, who doesn't do their research, is that, number one, they can't. They can't extend it to 40 if the board agrees. But what they also didn't tell them is that the rate that the retirement board accepted was very advantageous to the city, because we gave them a 6.5 interest rate throughout the life until it was funded. The law says they can pay 8%, so we saved them 1.5%. So you know how brilliant this is? This is like thinking you save money if you got a 3% mortgage and you only got 10 years left on your mortgage, and because you want $100 more in your pocket to go buy Ripple with, you take a 30-year mortgage at 5%. Does that seem smart to you? No. Only government thinks that extending loans so they can have more money to give to their friends in pay raises and jobs is a smart way to do business. That's the reason that if government was business, we'd have no government. So this is ridiculous. I mean, the whole thing's ridiculous.
Government does it right. We're still paying for trucks we don't have anymore.
That's right. We're still paying for trucks. And how many loans that have been there forever? Because every once in a while they give you a gram of truth. You know, when they said, well, we haven't really paid on any of these bonds. We're only paying the interest. Well, guess what? Next time you get your credit card statement,
try to just pay the interest.
If you pay the minimum, how long it takes if you got any kind of credit card debt. It takes like 42 years to pay off your credit card. So, and if you pay the interest, it never gets paid. So, you know, this is why government this is why our national debt is in the trillions. This is why cities like Fall River are always looking for money, and no matter how much you give them,
it's not enough.
Not enough. It's like a heroin addict. They can start with one bag, and by the time they're done, it takes them, I don't know, 5 or 10 bags a day to stay high. So it's like they lose their sensitivity. They need more. They build up an immunity. It's just like government. The more money you give them, the more money they spend, and they're voracious. Their appetite never ends. They want more money. Well, guess what? You projected a $10 million surplus this year. You shouldn't need any money. You shouldn't need to attempt to destroy the pension system. So, but we got into that waterfront.
Well, I just received this from the Department of Labor. The state's total unemployment rate remained at 3.5% in March.
Yep.
Fall River's at 8%. Remember that. Okay. So we're now more than double.
More than double.
Now we're more than double.
Hey. Another banner.
Right, there you go.
Another banner. It's not make it here. Come get a job here, even though there are none.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
So that
well, actually, there are jobs here, and here's the thing that gets me about this: there are no jobs here. Cordoba Restaurant just opened. Big, you know, fanfare of opening. The mayor even went and had a burrito or something. Okay, now they need help because they got nobody to cook. Denny's. Big fanfare opening. Been nothing but a headache since they opened. They're looking for cooks. They're looking for managers. Their managers quit on them. Okay? This is how you make it here.
Yeah.
Okay? You open up a business and then you beg for help because nobody wants to stay working for you.
Well, yeah, you're right, CJ, because look, what's the reality of the city? The reality of the city is what we've been saying for years on this show, is that the people with the money and the jobs, most of them have moved out, the ones who had the ability, not the ones on fixed income who are going to take a beating on their house because their house is worth half of what it was 25 years ago because the place, you know, that's it, Fall River, nobody wants to come here. And the reality is, what have we got left? We've got people that already have jobs, people that are retired, and all the new people in Fall River don't want jobs. Most of them are either in STAR or they're on assistance of some kind. They're on disability. They're not looking for jobs, and that's the problem. So how do you address that? You know, you spin it like the politicians do. Oh, we're going to give this one a TEF because they're going to create jobs. Well, we don't have the workforce. I love it when they talk about Fall River has got a great workforce, a great blue-collar workforce. Yeah, we did. We did. We don't have it anymore. The reality is half the people that have moved into the city over the last decade or so are unemployable. They either don't want to work or they can't pass a background or drug test to get a job. So is the unemployment rate going to stay high? They want a job, but they can't really get a job in any place that does any kind of background. And, you know, this is the problem. The problem is, how do we fix this? And go, oh, you guys never have solutions. Well, first of all, you make the city safer. So you don't spend your money on giving all your campaign workers jobs and stipends and paying them like they get paid in Boston or somewhere else.
We can't even do that, though, because the legislature has made it easy to commit a crime.
That's right.
Smack on the hand, no problem. Court diversion units.
Yeah, no,
drug diversion units.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. And,
you're arrested for dealing drugs? Okay, we'll put you in the drug diversion unit. Go there and do some nice stuff. Go sit at Star and hear some classes and be nice and deal your drugs right outside of Stars. How many times I've driven by there seeing people doing drugs right out in front of the place?
Yeah, but make the city safer. Make the education, again, was it last show or show before last, we talked about the top 100 school districts.
And Fall River wasn't there.
And Fall River wasn't there. You know, forget about making administrators and CFOs and COOs and deans of students with their six-figured salaries in the school department, all that bureaucracy. Invest money in the classroom for learning time. Invest money cleaning up the city. Make a concentrated effort. Spend your money there. Not giving your friends jobs. Make this city a more attractive place to come to and get people who actually will work and can work into the community, not have them all move out. I truly believe if we took a check of the in and the out ratio, that we've lost probably somewhere in the vicinity of 20,000 people minimum.
Who were hardworking. Those were hardworking people. With
jobs, and they've been replaced by people in our housing units and things like that. So what have we gained? It's actually, we're in a negative column. So if you look at this realistically, we've almost lost 40,000. The 20,000 that left and the 20,000 that came in who are actually a drain on the city, drain on the public safety, drain on the educational system. So, you know, the city is in trouble, and this is the reason that these cities, inner cities, do this. They never address problems. Politicians like slogans and signs, and they always make these grandiose promises. You know, forget about it. I've said this a million times. Fall River is a blue-collar city, always has been a blue-collar city, has been a city where the majority of people work for a living. And if you want this city to, again, at least be as good as it can be initially, because as I said, when we had people working in the mills and stores that they shopped in were thriving, Pleasant Street was full, South Main Street was full, everybody had a job. May not have been the greatest job in the world, but they all had a paycheck, and they all went out, you know, they all went out to eat on Friday and went shopping, and they all went out for breakfast on Sunday after church or before church, and we had businesses up and down both of our main retail areas, the Pleasant Street and Main Street. Why? Because people had money. And politicians now have convinced all, you know, everybody that their slogans and fancy things to make this place into Newton or Wellesley, this is going to be the Fall River of the future. Well, guess what? Your great-grandchildren will be getting put in the ground before you ever see this place like that. You've got to realize what you have here. We've got to get people back who can work, who want to work, get them jobs, and put people in, because the only thing that fixes the economy in this city is not a banner, it's not a slogan, it's not a political spin. It's people with money in their pocket, and every economist knows that, but every politician ignores it. And if you let them convince you that they can fix it with banners, well, this city's never going to get better.
I think that's an understatement, personally.
Yeah, well, I do too, but you can't, you really can't. I mean, all you got to do is look around what this city's happened. But now let's
just look around. I mean, there was shootings last week, and what did we find out this past week? That it's a gang shooting.
And how many times did they tell us that there were no gangs in the city of Fall River?
We don't have a gang problem.
Not the first murder either. Remember that murder a long time ago down on Quikasham Street at the base of Quikasham near County, where it was a thing between the Crips and the Bloods.
Yep.
But there are no gangs in the city. Now it's the Asian boys.
Yep. So, and they arrested Alex Castillo, 25-year-old Fall River man, who is allegedly an Asian boys gang member, who was charged with drug dealing offenses early Tuesday. Woohoo! But again, when you're comparing the fact that there were 3 shootings in the city, and now you're saying that credible sources are saying that it was the Asian boys. Why aren't we doing something about it?
Yeah.
Why aren't we doing something about it?
Because, you know, when you read this article, it talks about he's got a previous record, you know, these people, they get arrested, and our state legislature is attempting to make it easier on these people to get out of jail. And all we have to do, and we were reminded on our last show, and reminded still on the news because they showed the last call for Sergeant Gannon. What happens when you let these people on the street? As we decriminalize everything and throw everybody out of jail because we don't want to spend the money, and we see countries that do have stiff penalties for these things have far more success in controlling this. We do just the opposite. And then what happens is you get somebody like this who was reportedly in the possession of a stolen firearm, jeopardizing every one of our police officers because they arrested him without much incident, I guess. But what happens the next time? How many Asian boys and Crips and Bloods have firearms? Most.
Well, according to the article, the Asian boys are hiding their guns up their backsides because they feel the police are going to be a little hesitant on searching sensitive areas. I used to work in a prison. Let me tell you something.
They're not.
Nowhere was sacred, believe me.
And you're right. And some years ago, it was a while ago, they confiscated a van load of assault rifles from an Asian gang down on Quikashant Street. And I remember that, and they were armed to the teeth. So, you know, this is the thing. You know, you let these people, you see somebody like this out on the street, and you see our legislature making it easier for them to be on the street. You know, and it's like, then you wonder what's going to happen. Every one of our police officers faces this every day. The next time this guy gets arrested, he may say, well, you know, this time I'm really going to go to jail, so I'm going to shoot somebody. And it might be one of our police officers, God forbid. And it's like, you know, this is just unacceptable. And you know something? We can go all the way back in time in a time machine. We had a chance at fixing this, and our legislature gave us the barota again.
They always do.
When we wanted to elect judges, and you know what their position was? Oh, we can't let the people elect judges. We want the politicians to appoint them because the judges that the people appoint will be far too harsh.
That's right.
And what that was political code for saying, hey, if one of my relatives gets arrested and the judge was appointed, he'll throw him in a slammer. But now if they're appointed politically, I can make a phone call and get them out.
Exactly.
So, you know, why do we have these problems? Real simple. Government. Corrupt government. Politics as usual. And it is a tale of two worlds. The world of you and I and the world of people with political connections and money. Every court case, everything. Try to get. If you get arrested, you'll get thrown in jail. There'll be no outrage. There'll be no marches. There'll be nothing. You're just another riv rat. And they're going to throw you in jail, and you're going to have to get a lawyer and go through the system. But if some politician's kid or somebody connected's son or cousin or uncle or themselves, they get locked up. I think we all know people who are connected who got stopped for DUI and other things and had other crimes and walked without any consequence.
I think that may have happened recently, hasn't it?
Probably, yeah, we know, yeah, it did, yeah. But I mean, it happens all, and that's the thing, it happens all the time. But people never, I keep saying it, but we got to try to get everybody in the state. Maybe we have enough people to call a constitutional convention, and really, because they said that's the only way we can change it. We really need to be like some of these other states, like Nevada, where they elect judges. See how long you last as an elected judge if you throw some pedophile with 200 charges against them and send them for a month of therapy and put them back out on the street. See if you get reelected.
Yeah,
get some guy with 27 DUIs and let him out and see how long you last.
Yeah, try a criminal with 125 charges.
Exactly.
Who ends up killing a police officer. Let's see how long you're going to be staying in office if that happens.
Because prisoner, was it 125?
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, prisoner 125, they don't even call him by name because he's such a piece of human refuse. And also they don't want people to get his name, I guess, and the inmates to get it. But, I can guarantee you, if he went to court in Nevada where they elect judges, especially before one of my favorite judges in Nevada, because he was one of the best boxing referees ever in the history of the game. He's passed away now, Mills Lane. He would have thrown his butt in jail long before he hit 125, and he'd still be there. So,
exactly.
But you're kind of saying it's. But we do this and try to laugh so we don't cry. But this takes a tremendous toll on this society. The law-abiding people of this country, not only this city, this country is suffering every day from this political correctness wave, hashtag me too, hashtag everything, and
political
everything.
Cesspool.
It's making this country one of the most dangerous places. I mean, yeah, there are a few more. I mean, if you want to go down to Colombia but actually, if you stay out of the way of the cartel, you're pretty safe.
Yeah, exactly.
You're probably safer there than you are here.
Yeah. Well, we keep saying that Fall River's waterfront is its gem, it's its gem, it's its gem. Well, now the gem is on hold again until somebody makes a decision on offshore wind. Because then they want to take the Montauk power plant, the Brighton Point power plant, and make it staging areas for offshore wind, for windmills. Well, there goes the boating and the, all the other great little things that Fall River wanted to do, and now we have to wait before we can decide, because after all, we got a bridge down on the riverfront now, too.
Yeah, and and that's the thing. It's politics. Nothing ever gets done. And we go back to the judges. Didn't Charlie Baker, didn't our governor say we got to look into these judges with this case with the police officer?
Yeah.
But you got the 124, but that's all he's going to say. You're right. We got to look into this.
No, because once they're appointed, they're there for life.
Absolutely nothing will happen.
But again, once they're appointed for life, and that's the problem.
Appointed for life, regardless of how incompetent they are. Most of them were incompetent before they got it. I know a few judges that I actually dealt with when they were attorneys, and they were pathetic. I don't know how they can be good judges if they were pathetic attorneys, but they were. But how do they get appointed? They know the right people. And as you said, they're appointed for life. And, that's the problem in our society. And it's taking a tremendous toll. All we do is spend our money in making the lives of drug addicts more comfortable when we should be spending it on
police fire, education.
Nobody's denying these people help, but, the 25th offense of drug addiction, and just the other day I was watching something on, they police down the Cape got somebody and gave him four doses of Narcan.
That was yesterday, I heard that.
Yeah, and what's that, $100 a dose now?
No, it's more than that.
Or maybe more than that, okay. So listen, if you can't stay angry, stay informed.
Yeah, so you know what the heck's going on, because a lot of people don't. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend.